30, we'll call the meeting to order. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Oh, we got it.
Yeah, it's coming. Okay. There are 20 supervisors present. Supervisors Bashaw, Belsky, and Stocker are excused.
Citizen comments. Is there any citizen comments? Any citizen wish to speak? Please state your name and address.
Good evening. I'm Eric Thiemanson, 25590 127th Street in Trever. I do not recall what my district is. Calling to speak in support of mountain bike trails in Kenosha County. We have two sets of trails that are specifically purpose-built for mountain biking at both Petrifying Springs and Silver Lake Park. This is a great opportunity and a great draw for the county to get people from other areas into the area and enjoy the facilities that we have. I know there's been some discussion in the past about having these mountain biking trails open to runners as well. I'd strongly encourage you to be cautious about that, mostly for a safety issue. Mountain bikers can get going pretty fast, and you come around some of these corners, it could become a very quick situation that could become very tense. These trails have been built by donations and volunteer time from mountain bikers in the community and outside the community, including a lot of children that are learning the mountain biking sport through a variety of clubs like SLS Mountain Biking, of which I'm the president, and then also teams like Lakeview Tech here in Kenosha. These kids and their volunteer coaches spend a lot of time using these trails, practicing on these trails, to then go and compete across the state of Wisconsin throughout the summer and fall. It's a great opportunity to get out, and there's nothing like being 50 plus years old, going out and riding with a bunch of kids and just having fun. You know, it's kind of fun when the kids say, hey, you want to go ride bikes with me? You don't get that when you're over 50. So it is fun, it is entertaining, and it's a great way for the kids to learn community service, stewardship of our lands, and be a positive aspect of the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen wish to speak? Please state your name and address.
My name is Karen Florjancic. My address is 4007 13th Place in Kenosha, which I believe is District 1. I also came to speak in favor and give some positive feedback regarding the purpose-built mountain bike trails that are here in Kenosha County. I live within walking distance to Petrifying Springs Park, and I've been there 20 plus years. The trails have been there a long time, but they were a hodgepodge of, different trails. Certainly never anything that I would have biked on in the past. But in the last few years, the transformation of the purpose-built trails, the multi-use trails within Petrifying Springs has been tremendous. It's a great place to get exercise, to ride your bikes. I feel safe riding there on the single track trails, especially the mountain bike trails. It's a great addition to our community. And I also wanted to speak specifically about the mountain biking club that is there that Eric spoke to as well, the Southeastern Lake Scholastic Mountain Biking Club. I am one of the coaches on the club. And we have plus 90 athletes, more than 50 coaches that participate. And we practice regularly at the Silver Lake trails. And some things that I just wanted to discuss about youth cycling that I think are important. Youth cycling actively promotes self-confidence among these kids, friendships, mentorships. It's an introduction to a new sport and skills. It was a new sport for me when my son joined the team. And really a lifelong hobby that these kids will carry with them for a long time. It's an opportunity for maybe some of those who don't fit in to traditional sports. My son specifically, he's neurodiverse, so participating in a team sport like basketball or football, it's not a great opportunity for him. But mountain biking, it's a place where he's included, a place where he belongs. And he wasn't able to attend today, but he wanted to share with the group here that, he enjoys riding, he enjoys the trails. It's fun for him, and it's been a great opportunity to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen wish to speak?
My name is Jack Bozick. We live on 2802 Springbrook Road in Pleasant Prairie. So I am here tonight speaking on behalf of my dad, Ken Bozick, to the respected members of the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors. Thank you for affording me this opportunity to address all of you this evening. My name is Ken Bozick, 2802 Springbrook Road, Pleasant Prairie. I'm a Kenosha County resident of 23 years, homeowner in the village of Pleasant Prairie for 16 years, husband, father, engineer, cyclist, and mountain bike coach. It is that final title of mountain bike coach that draws me to speak to you this evening. I'm the head coach for the Lakeview Technology Academy mountain bike team. Like the school, we may be small, just 7 student athletes with a nearly equal number of coaches, but we are a cohesive group of young adults and positive mentors who use the mountain bike as a tool for recreation, personal growth through experimental learning, and even some friendly competition. Lakeview's team is one of more than 80 teams in the Wisconsin Interscholastic Cycling League. Our state league delivers opportunities to 1,900 student athletes by 900 coaches and league staff. At the national level, 30 other states in the nation have similar mountain biking leagues, all governed by the National Interscholastic Cycling Association. In total, the National Interscholastic Cycling Association represents over 25,000 student athletes and 14,000 coaches. So from a small team of seven student athletes, we can draw connections to a national movement of some 25,000 youth. Lakeview's mountain bike team exists not just by the dedication of the team's leaders, mentors, and coaches. It exists thanks in large part to the infrastructure we have in Kenosha County. The team regularly utilizes the mountain bike trails at Petrifying Springs Park and Silver Lake Park. We ride the paved Kenosha County Path and the Pike River extension into Racine County. And we use our park's green spaces for smaller scoped practices and working on skills/drills. Without that infrastructure, we coaches would be challenged to provide the student athletes with exciting and engaging mountain bike opportunities. For that infrastructure, we are grateful. We also extend our thanks to the Kenosha Area Mountain Bike Association, all of campus volunteers who toil in the dirt, and Parks Director Matt Collins. I feel that we are all aligned in the mission to maintain the trails we have and to build out more. To those ends, the team gives back sweat equity to the trails and CAMBA as part of NICA's Teen Trail Core program, teaching our youth to get directly involved in the maintenance of the trails we enjoy. Looking forward not only for Lakeview's mountain bike team, but for the entirety of the cycling community in Kenosha County, all I see is growth. More and more youth and adults are taking to the cycling as a tool for personal wellness, transportation, recreation, challenge, and just good fun. If we keep our eyes open for them, we see more and more bicycles on the roads, paths, at trailheads, and on the backs of cars. It's hard to deny the movement. And with that in mind, I'll ask for your continued support as we look to not only maintain what we have, but also continue to build out more cycling infrastructure for the community. And for Lakeview's mountain bike team, we can all look at the newest mountain bike trails at Petrifying Springs Park as excellent examples of what the youth and adults are wanting. Well-designed and built trails that give the community more miles and more smiles. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and address.
Jake Thomas, District 5, 2212 24th Avenue, Kenosha. I am here also to talk about mountain biking and biking in the community. I am also a youth and governance member for the Public Works Committee. I am a student athlete on the Lakeview mountain biking team, a NICA-based team. I'm here to express our appreciation and love for our local biking and mountain biking trails. On behalf of the students of our team, I would like to thank our great Parks Department for their work and support of our wonderful trail system. Without these trails, we would not have anywhere to practice nearby and would be forced to ride on unsafe roads. The network at Petrifying Springs has been a great place for us to practice with its combination of beginner and advanced trails. I'm very happy to see the continued expansion of the trail system there and the sustainable practices that have been put in place. For me personally, the enjoyment of getting to ride with my friends through trees and down hills gives me great thrills. Trying over and over again to fully get down a trail and improve my abilities is such a rewarding experience. The tightness and accepting nature of our mountain biking community has created a massive love of biking for me. Our team continues to work on improving our trails, and later this fall, we'll be working with CAMBA to volunteer time on maintaining this great system. I especially love the safety that our trails provide by allowing us to remain separate from dangerous motor traffic. Biking is a vital part of our Kenosha County community, whether it's on the road or on a trail. Biking as a sport or casual activity provides numerous benefits, such as improved health, community, and a sustainable transportation method. I ask this board to continue to support our county's bike network, both in our parks and our paved system. Sustainable biking infrastructure will always be a net positive on our community. The maintenance and expansion of this bike network will provide innumerable benefits for our youth and adults. Thank you, County Board, and our Parks and Planning Department for what you guys do. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Please state your name and address.
Todd Hauser, 6622 24th Avenue, Kenosha, it's District 8. I come and talk before you all of the time, and each time I seem to go right up to the number, so tonight you're in luck. I'm just going to say thank you to all of the NICA teams and coaches. I'm not involved directly with any of the NICA teams, but I'm really glad that everybody could come out and show the county board just who's using our trails. And thank you to our volunteers as always. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, citizen comments are closed. Okay, also let the record show that, hopefully I'm not going to kill her name, Exa Khadri from PDAC is here. Welcome. Announcement of the chairman. Actually, this last weekend we had our WCA conference. Thank you for everybody that came, and even though a little bit tired, but made it to the board meeting tonight. It was a great conference. I think hopefully everybody learned something and got to meet some of the other supervisors from different counties. Supervisor reports. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, I wanted to echo your comments about WCA. I think in my 6 years on the board now, this is, I think, our largest group, if not one of the largest groups that I can remember that came from Kenosha County. And I would just say to those who have not been to WCA or those who have been in the past and maybe for whatever reason you've decided not to go as for these current ones that we've had, I think you should go. It's a great time. It's a time for us, especially given this most recent county board. There's been some fireworks, to say the least. And I know I can look like to Supervisor Berg, for example. We can share some quality time as friends and colleagues where we're not maybe arguing about the policy, but just enjoying each other's company and representing Kenosha County, ensuring that we're getting the education and the support and the tools that WCA offers to all of its member counties. And so I hope to see even more of a group there next year. While at WCA, I attended multiple breakout sessions. The one that stood out to me most that I just wanted to kind of give you a brief synopsis of was addressing occupational trauma and with resiliency training. And this is a program provided by the Center for Suicide Awareness, and it's supported by the Medical College of Wisconsin. And it's a program that's focused on resiliency skills primarily for our first responders. It's a program that is completely free for counties or municipalities that participate in it. and it is taught by instructors like Matthew Josick, the sheriff of Kewanee County, as well as other law enforcement professionals from around the state. So I have spoken with, in the few hours I've been back home since the conference, I have spoken with the sheriff, and I'll speak with him more at length in the future. And hopefully we can get a program like this, if not this exact program, in Kenosha County to, at least for our deputies, and maybe our neighboring municipalities will use it for their first responders as well, to let these law enforcement men and women know that, one, it's okay to not be okay, and two, that they're going through things that everyone in this room, I think, couldn't imagine going through, let alone going through those things on a daily basis. So again, thank you to WCA for putting this conference on, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing us to attend that. And I look forward to it. And lastly, I just want to end with just kind of a shout out, not to address what our citizens spoke about tonight, but it is great seeing students from the school I graduated from not only getting involved like with youth and governance, but getting involved and coming to these chambers to tell us what they're feeling, how they feel, and what they want us to know, because we don't just represent our voters, we represent everybody who calls Kenosha County home. So to you students, thank you for coming tonight. That's all I have.
Thank you. Supervisor Franco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to remind the board that today is National Voter Registration Day. Those who are new members to this body may not realize that in 2018, we passed a resolution recognizing National Voter Registration Day. This nonpartisan civic holiday began in 2012, and since then, over 5 million new voters have registered nationally. Moreover, 24 states, including Pennsylvania just recently, have adopted automatic voter registration, making the process of voter registration even more convenient and accessible to as many citizens as possible. The holiday has been endorsed by the National Association of Secretaries of State, the National Association of State Election Directors, the U.S. Election Assistant Commission, and the National Association of Election Officials. Unfortunately, 1 in 4 qualified voters have still not registered. As the longest standing democratic republic in the world, this is unfortunate. As a country, we should be leading the world in voter participation. In a recent book, Stephen Levitt and Daniel Ziblatt, the authors of the compelling work, How Democracies Die, have pointed out that there are many ways that democracies like the United States can flounder, ossify, and become resistant to reform. One of these areas, if not protected by robust political and legal norms, is in the area of voting. We have come a long way from only allowing landowning white males from participating in the franchise, but as a country, we have a way to go in order to perfect our union. It's also appropriate that National Voter Registration Day is recognized 2 days after Constitution Day. Our Constitution is the roadmap that defines the structure of our republic, but it is voting that is the lifeblood of our democracy. So I hope all of us reflect on the importance of this day, because it is so easy to take the precious right of voting for granted. There are so many people in the world who do not have an opportunity to vote. Let us all remember that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Carroll.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Nudo. The update that I have this week is regarding our PDEC meeting that was last week, September 13th. If you remember, we skipped the month of August because we didn't have enough agenda items or any agenda items, so this was the first one in a couple of months. We had some good attendance there, and the main topic of the education section was presented by Carolyn Van Sloten, who's our 4-H coordinator for the county. She reported on the fair. It was held back in August, and even though the 4-H does not make up the fair and the fair is not there for the 4-H, they both work together and make it a great event for the county. She reported that there's 563 youth involved in the 4-H program, and that their new year begins October 1st of this year. So she was encouraging many of us to attend an open house coming up later this month, I believe September 27th. If I'm wrong, I can correct that. But and that next year that the fair is on August 14th. One other thing that she continued to help us remember is what 4-H actually means. There's 4 words. One is heart, one is hands, health, and head. So I think that the program is pretty robust in Kenosha County here, and they've gotten a good amount of participation. We also received some updates from some of the other members of the Education Committee, and we were also introduced to Savannah Myers, our new Community Development Educator. So she's just a little over a month on the job and is still getting her feet wet in what it means to be the Community Development Educator in Kenosha County. But certainly willing to pitch in, as she is working on updating the UW Extension website and has been working on the social media for them. We also got an update from VJ Pandon, and we have some urgent information about the county. There's a spongy moth, formerly known as the gypsy moth outbreak, in an area in western Kenosha County, right on the border between Twin Lakes and Randall on Highway KD. There was an open house earlier in August out there where community members can come to see what's going on, but it's we're kind of running into a situation where a couple of dry years has led to the spongy moth uptick. It seems like wetter springs tend to not allow the larvae to grow into the moths later in the year. So right around middle of May every year, the moths develop, and then they begin to eat all the foliage, which is the larvae or the worms begin to eat all the caterpillars, you might say, to eat all the foliage on the trees. And we've had a few years of drought, so the trees are stressed as well. So it becomes a really big issue to us as a county, because if these large trees die and then personal people on private property need to cut them down, we're talking $2,000 to $5,000 a piece. And then if that happens in our parks, which we have a tremendous amount of trees, then that is an even bigger expense to us as a county. So one of the things that we're doing is keeping a very close eye on that, and VJ wants to see about surveying some private properties out there, and I told him that I would work with him to help facilitate that. I'm sure Supervisor Nordigan would as well, because if this starts to spread and becomes more of an issue, we have a big issue in the county here. If you haven't seen the photos, I've got a pamphlet here, but nearly 90% of the foliage was removed from the trees earlier this spring, because we're in June into July, and I'm sure Supervisor Nordigan saw that as well. It's just down the road from us. So it's a big issue, and we need to keep a close eye on that and make sure that we handle it appropriately. We may even need to appropriate some funds for spraying in order to control this. They're still trying to find a ag educator. They had a failed search, but they're going to try and work together with Dane County on figuring out a better way to fill that position. That's been a pretty tough one. Next thing at the development, planning and development meeting, we have a resolution coming forward later on. There's a Henderson rezone and Henderson comprehensive plan updates coming in the ordinances up ahead. I'll talk more about those then. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just two quick things. Just a reminder, on Thursday at the Kenosha County Center is the Racial and Ethnic Equity Commission, again at 6 p.m. Also, I had the pleasure on Saturday, although this was Saturday, it was an event for Saturday and Sunday. At Harbor Park was the Hispanic Heritage Celebration. I urge you next year, the second or third week of September, put it on your calendars because it's fun. It's amazingly fun. There was Colombian food and Mexican food and Puerto Rican food. I think the newest thing I've ever had in my life was blood sausage from Colombia, and oh my God, was it amazing. So I would urge you all to get out there. I also want to put a shout out to Amistad Church. They're on Roosevelt Road across from Roosevelt School. They had about 5 different Hispanic heritage foods out there, Colombian, specifically Michoacan, Guadalajara, Nicaraguan, and something else, and it was all free to whoever wanted to come out there. And there was no alcohol, but just purely food. It was great fun. They did a lot of cultural dances there, and they will be planning on doing this every year. So if you want to reach out also to Pastor Rafael Escobedo, you can get some more information. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other supervisor wish to speak? Any other supervisor? Seeing none, supervisor comments are closed.
New business, Resolution 53 from Judiciary and Law Committee, a resolution to approve the probationary cabaret license for BB's Pub, 6215 Green Bay Road, Kenosha, Wisconsin, 53142 in the town of Summers. This passed unanimously at committee.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move Resolution 53.
Moved by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Vice Chair Decker. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you tonight is a resolution to approve the probationary cabaret license for BB's Pub. The reason this is before us is the former owner passed away and the family decided to sell the business. And so the new owners are applying for the cabaret license. It passed unanimously in committee. I ask for the board's support tonight.
Thank you. Any supervisor wants to speak on it? Any other supervisor? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Resolution 54 from the Judiciary and Law Committee, a resolution to approve the probationary cabaret license for Premier Wine and Spirits, 32400 Geneva Road, Salem, Wisconsin, 53168 in the town of Wheatland. This passed unanimously at committee.
That was 55, right?
54.
54?
I don't hear
I
it.
got 55 on mine.
It's 54.
Okay, then I'll fix mine. Okay. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move Resolution 54.
Moved by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Supervisor Wemble. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. Before you tonight is a resolution to approve the probationary cabaret license for Premier Wine and Spirits. Is before us tonight. This is a new operation, and as such, they are applying for the cabaret license. Passed unanimously at committee. I ask for the board's support tonight.
Any supervisor comments? Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Resolution 55 from Judiciary and Law Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Brian Bashaw to serve on the Joint Services Board. This passed at committee 4-3 with Supervisors Bashaw, Nordigan, Franco, and Wamble voting aye, and Vice Chair Decker and Supervisor Rodriguez and Belsky voting nay.
Supervisor Nordigan.
Move Resolution 55.
Moved by Supervisor Nordigan, second by Supervisor Wemble. Supervisor Nordigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Supervisor Bashaw had replaced me on the Joint Services Board through through Chairman Nudo's appointment, at least up until this now full appointment. And Supervisor Bashaw will be here for a 3-year term ending August 23rd, 2026, and has been doing a very good job. Probably wasn't too hard to replace me, but he's doing a very good job. I urge your support. Thank you.
Okay. Any supervisor comments? Supervisor U.S.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did receive a statement from Supervisor Bashaw as to why he could not be here tonight, and he asked that I read this to the fellow board members. To the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors, my apologies. I am out of town for business at the present and unable to attend tonight's board meeting. As the agenda includes my reappointment to the Joint Services Board, the timing is truly unfortunate. However, I look forward to your support and to continuing to serve on the Joint Services Board and being a productive member. Fulfilling the term that remained after Supervisor Nordigan stepped aside has been very interesting, and I have taken the opportunity to actively engage in the very important and productive work of the committee. Thank you for your support. And then I would also like to add, as a chair of Joint Services, Supervisor Bashaw has done a very good job since he's been appointed to Joint Services, he's taken a very active approach and has spent a lot of time learning how the organization works. And I will be supporting his appointment tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisors? Any other supervisor comments? Seeing none,
Roll call.
roll call requested.
Resolution 55 passes, 16 yes and 4 no. Resolution 56 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution regarding David P. and Diane I. Henderson, revocable trust owner. David Henderson, agent, requests an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 54 of the comprehensive plan, from agricultural and rural density residential to agricultural and rural density residential and suburban density residential in the town of Randall. This passed unanimously at committee.
Supervisor Carroll.
Move Resolution 56.
Moved by Supervisor Carroll, second by Supervisor Geschke. Supervisor Carroll.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Nudo. This is a resolution for the comprehensive plan amendment for a piece of property that is being divided in the north central part of the town of Randall along Highway JI. This is the first step of 3. The next 2 steps are further down in Ordinance 6 and 7. So this is, first modifying the comprehensive plan and then approving the zoning and the other changes for this, the conditional or the, the CSI or the CSM down below. This went through our committee, passed unanimously. It also, there were representatives from the town of Randall there, the town chairperson, and also representing the town planning commission as well, which both of those came through as a unanimous favorable recommendation on this. So I ask for the board's support tonight.
Okay. Any comments? Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Passes.
Resolution 57 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing transfer of a parcel taken by tax deed to the City of Kenosha for a determined price to cover taxes. This passed unanimously at committee. Supervisors Franco and Poole excused.
Supervisor Rose.
I would move the resolution.
Moved by Supervisor Rose, second by Supervisor Gersten. Supervisor Rose.
All right, thank you. The proposition before you this evening, passed by the committee, would transfer this piece of property to the City of Kenosha for a public purpose. There is due property taxes of $8,705.28, but the city is owed almost $750,000 for special assessments. So while we're not taking a large hit, the city is. They would like the property transferred to the city, and they're seeking a developer to build single-family owner-occupied residences, which there is a shortage of in the city of Kenosha. Thus, the committee has endorsed this as a good public purpose.
Thank you. Supervisor Thomas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair, Supervisor Rose, I believe it's 16 acres that we're deeding over. Do you know when the county took possession of that property? I'm just curious because it's only $8,000 in taxes.
2018.
So just a few years. Okay. And did we have any, no other questions. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisors? Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I apologize if I missed it and I don't see it in the packet. Where is this located at?
It is on the southwest corner of 47th Avenue and 27th Street.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Any other supervisors?
That's not loading in my packet.
Any other supervisors? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Passes.
Ordinance 6 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding David P. and Diane I. Henderson, revocable trust owner, David Henderson, agent, requesting a rezoning from A2 General Agricultural District to A2 General Agricultural District, R2 Suburban Single Family Residential District, and C1 Lowland Resource Conservancy District in the town of Randall. This passed unanimously at committee.
Supervisor Carroll.
Move ordinance 6.
Moved by Supervisor Carroll, second by Supervisor Franco. Supervisor Carroll.
Yes, this is the second step in the three-step process. So this is the rezoning of the property that is split. The reason for the rezone is that the parcel of land is just over 3 acres, and the current zoning would only allow 5 acres or larger in that zoning area. So again, passing unanimously at the board and at the town and the Plan Commission of the town as well. I ask for the board's support tonight on this.
Any supervisor comments? Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Passes.
Communications 40 from Vice Chair Decker, a resolution recognizing November 2023 as National Adoption Month. Oh, did I miss ordinance 7? I'm sorry. It's because it says the same thing. Okay. Sorry about that. Ordinance 7 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding David P. and Diane I. Henderson, revocable trust owner. David Henderson, agent, requests an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 54 of the comprehensive plan, from agricultural and rural density residential to agricultural and rural density residential and suburban density residential in the town of Randall. Did I do that right?
Okay. Supervisor Carroll.
Move ordinance 7.
Moved by Supervisor Carroll, second by Supervisor Kubicki. Supervisor Carroll.
Yes, so this is the third step in the three-step process. This is the ordinance for the amendment of the comprehensive plan, which is the companion to the resolution up above, Resolution 56. So I ask the board's support on this ordinance this evening.
Okay. Any supervisor comment? Supervisor Berg, you got your light on?
I do. It's irrelevant. I forgot to give a report on the water utility, so if I could just get the floor before we adjourn, that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, on the ordinance, the motion. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Communications 40, communication from Vice Chair Decker, a resolution recognizing November 2023 as National Adoption Month.
Refer to Executive Committee.
41, communications from Andy M. Bueller regarding future items scheduled before the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee.
Received and filed. And should we have Supervisor Berg say it now? Supervisor Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I forgot, and I apologize, but I did coordinate this morning, or this afternoon, for a tour of both the drinking water plant and the wastewater plant for Kenosha. If anybody would like to take a tour of both of them, we're going to be meeting. You've got an email in your emails, but we're going to be meeting at 8:30 on Friday morning. So if anybody wants to make it, thank you.
Thank you.
The approval of the September 5th, 2023 minutes by Supervisor Geertsen.
Supervisor Gersten. Moved by Supervisor Gersten, second by Supervisor Grady. Any
Looking pretty handsome.
any comments? All in favor?
Motion to adjourn.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Supervisor Berg. All in favor? We're adjourned.